Welcome to Thoughtful Thursday. This is your host, Mae Renfroe, and as always, I'm excited about our the episodes that I get to do with my guests because I have amazing guests on, and I know for today I do too. Again, I have Rebecca Miller Pringle on with me, so just welcome Rebecca
Thank you
with
all.
me today, and so Rebecca is an Army veteran that has served our country, and she's also an author of blended family books and has been a commander of the North Bergen Veterans of Foreign Wars. So you've done a lot of things, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've done a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. Hello to everyone.
amazing.
And I'll be talking a little bit about how faith has been a big part of my family and my story to get me across different types of adversity in my life.
Hmm.
My little girl is a cancer survivor. She's 13 now, but we found the
Oh,
cancer
wow.
when she was 10 months old. And
Oh,
she had 8 tumors in her eyes, 8 cancerous tumors. And so I put a lot of prayer on her, a lot of healing rooms. We went to prophets, we went to churches, and I would also pray over her at each procedure. So she had several bouts of chemo, she had cryotherapy, she had laser surgeries. And that's a lot for a child, at 10 months. She had several bouts of that. And after each procedure, before each procedure, I would pray over her that Jesus would be with her, that he would heal her, that he would
hmm.
help her. And one day, I remember that they gave me some copies of her documents, her medical records, and I was reading one of the graphs. And the graph was kind of like up like a mountain, like a high peak. And on the bottom, the doctor had wrote possibly the largest I've ever recorded. And I got scared because I said, wait a minute,
Hmm.
are they saying that my daughter has the largest tumor ever recorded? So I quickly called the hospital
Hmm.
and I asked them, I says, listen, I got this graph here and I saw that you wrote on the bottom possibly the largest ever recorded. Are you telling me that my daughter has the largest tumor ever recorded? And he says, no, ma'am. She has the largest healing ever recorded. And I got goosebumps and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
What happened is she had 5 tumors in one eye and she had 3 tumors in the other eye.
yeah.
You know that the 3 tumors on her right eye miraculously disappeared? They but disappeared,
Wow.
and the 5
Amazing.
tumors that she had on there, they had shrunk, and she had gotten into remission, and, uh, they had doctors from all over the world fly in to see her because they couldn't understand what happened. How did this happen? And they says, wow, she's a miracle. And they said she's a very special child. You got a lot of people here to see you because you're very special. This is what they're telling her. Well, she's
Mhm,
little,
mhm,
she didn't really understand much. um,
mhm.
they'll have to go every year for checkups, life. So she has no vision in the left eye. She has no vision in the left eye, but in the right eye she has 20/15, which is above average. So the king
Mm,
touches her eye, God touches her, and then she gets above average vision in the one eye that he took the tumors out. And
mhm,
it's just it's a total miracle. And you know what? It also, you have to have faith. You have to have
mhm,
faith because
mhm,
it's a partnership. If you
mhm,
don't have faith, then God won't work.
mhm,
So I had the faith, I had the prayer, I took action. Also, faith without works. You have to have the works, which is where the action is, where you go take the child for prayer. You go to prayer, you pray with
mhm,
others. And
mhm,
it's a combination of all of that. And then you get, God, if He wants to, He will give you that miracle, He will bless you. So I speak about that often because that gives hope to others, um,
mhm,
of what God could do. And, with God, all things are possible. He could do
Yep.
anything to
Yeah.
those who believe, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so in my life, he's moved a lot of mountains. He's moved the mountain of my house where I was able to buy a house. He moved the mountain of this my daughter's cancer where he took the cancer away. He
Yeah. Wow.
moved the mountain of debt where he's helping me manage debt, right? It's a process. He's moved the mountain of service animal training. My daughter, since she got the cancer and there was a lot of hospital visits and things, she wound up getting a little anxiety. And she also sometimes she gets sick, because her immune system. And since she can't see in the one eye,
Mhm.
her balance is still a little off. So we got a service animal for the per the doctor's recommendation, and those
Mhm.
animals, they are not cheap.
Mm.
So we had
I
to
can imagine.
Yeah, so we had to have fundraisers and things like that, but now we have and every in life we find ourselves in all types of little problems, right? We're always
Mhm.
gonna have adversity. We're always going to
Oh
have
yeah.
problems. Uh,
Yeah.
and God helps us. Okay, He helps us with this
Mhm.
problem. Then He helps us
Mhm.
with this. He helps us, and we continue to persevere, to have perseverance, to move on, and keep going. Although it's not easy because many times you feel that weight on your shoulders.
Mhm.
And I found that through writing, it was therapeutic, and so I started writing books. I was part of a blended family, um, and I guess that the cancer maybe was a little too much for my husband at the time, and he had separated himself from the situation. So I wound up taking care of my daughter by myself all
Mm.
these years because from what the social workers at the hospital have told me is
Mhm.
it's not uncommon that a family that goes through a serious illness like this, that the marriage sometimes struggles and sometimes the marriage falls apart because of
Mhm.
various type of life-threatening illness.
Mhm.
That's what happened in this
Yeah.
situation. So I raised her by myself. I found some therapeutic writing, and I was part of a blended family. So I started writing books about blended families for other families that may find themselves in situations where they're in a mixed relationship, and problems that may surface, and solutions of maybe how it could be better resolved.
Mhm. Mhm.
Also, in the military,
Oh,
there's also divorce. The rate is a little high because there's a lot of changing
wow.
stations,
Mhm.
moving, and sometimes the husband is in the military. He leaves for a while without the family. So, unfortunately, that's also some struggles that the military families also face
Yeah.
with so much
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. For sure. Oh well. Well, there's a kind of fly. I was gonna say, yeah, and what you mentioned about was it for the blended
The blend.
families and things? Yeah, for the marriages. Going through what experience we experienced child loss, and we've heard that there's a very high statistic for marriages. Uh, it's a very a big strain, on the couple to keep
Yes,
together,
yes, it
and
is.
and we've heard that as well too. So, boy, I guess a person really has to be dedicated and just committed and something you have to work on and be purposeful about it. But yeah,
Absolutely. And
yeah, for sure.
I also attribute a lot of my military training to help me to stay strong, to continue with all the hospital visits and all the issues with the going to the doctor repeatedly. I do credit some of that military training to
Oh,
keep
okay, yeah,
to be strong.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. When did you write these books?
Oh, okay. I want to say that the first book came out in 2010. The
Oh,
second
okay.
book
Oh,
came out a few years ago, and I'm actually working on another book, my third book now.
oh,
However,
wow.
this book is not on blended families. I believe that I have heard God tell me that he wants me to write a book to help our soldiers that have been taking their
Oh,
lives.
okay. Okay.
I'm not sure if you know that 22 there's 22 lives taken a day in the military
Oh.
community,
Oh, wow.
veterans or soldiers. So there's 22 lives lost a day to suicide.
Wow.
I feel that God is telling me, listen, I want you to write about how I can help them, not me, but him. How he
Yeah.
can not want to take their life, but to
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
okay? Where because he is the first to live after death.
Mhm.
Okay, Jesus is the first to live after death. He came back to life. So if we have our men and women in uniform coming back and they feel dead inside, well, he
Mhm.
can bring them back to life. If they
Mhm.
feel that they're dead inside, they're
Mhm.
walking around like they don't feel that they're here. They don't know what's real.
Mhm.
They don't know what happened over there in war. So I've and throughout the past years, because this is a book in several years in making. I
Mhm.
have been I have been looking at scriptures that I think would pertain well to the military family. Scriptures on war, scriptures on being a soldier, scriptures on overcoming. And I've been compiling different scriptures that I think someone in the military can relate to.
Mhm.
Okay, because it's a different mentality, and not just
Mhm.
anyone could join the military. You have to have a certain type of personality. Okay, you have to have a certain type of makeup, and you have to be able to withstand some hard treatment, some training,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
some difficulty. So it's not for everybody. You have to take a lot of orders, a lot of
Mhm.
commands, and I started compiling different scriptures in the Bible to relate and put a military spin on it so that I can get to them, and so that they can want to read it and want to try to have a relationship. A lot of them lose their faith.
Mm.
They lose their faith
Mhm.
because they see atrocities. They
Mhm.
see
Oh,
horror,
yeah. I can imagine.
and they wonder, well, if God is real, how could he let this happen?
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
war is very ugly, from what
Oh,
I
yeah.
hear. Very,
Yeah, I
very.
can.
So that's what I've been working on for several years now. It's going to be a 31-day journey of healing,
Mhm.
okay, of healing using scriptures and using military stories. I found 31 topics that may relate to the military community. So it'd be one topic for 31 days, right? A topic a day,
Mhm.
and attach some healing scriptures and also some stories of veterans who have told me their stories throughout the years. So I compile
Mhm.
stories of different veterans that have gone through different obstacles, and they would share their story with me. And so I take each day and I write a story about what the veteran told me. Then I apply some of the
Mhm.
scriptures that may benefit that veteran so
Mhm.
that that veteran who's going through that situation can hopefully incorporate some of the healing, and with God's help start healing and transforming and becoming who who they are meant to be.
Mhm. Oh, wow, that does sound really good. And so is this not only for the veteran, the soldier, but also maybe for their spouse, for
Can
their families? Could they benefit too?
it probably can benefit them. However, it is geared to the 22 that take their lives a day. So it is
Oh,
have
okay.
military talk in there, but yes, it can be used since it's scriptures, I mean, scriptures will work for
Yeah.
any. There is a epidemic of suicide going on in the civilian world as well, with
Oh,
with the younger folks. So it's not like it's just a military um,
okay.
epidemic. Suicide is an epidemic everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. And I was wondering if this because all of what the veteran and the soldier experienced in the war, it can come back and it affects the family too, right? The way
Does it?
he's reacting or responding to what he's been through does affect the family, he or she, sorry. And so, that's what I was wondering. I was like, oh, could this be something that the spouse uh, could kind of relate to and help her or him to understand like what they've been through,
You
and
know,
then
that's a really good point.
for healing for both of them, or
Really good point. Yes, because if they don't understand what they've been through, then it's going to be hard to be able to work with them.
yeah. I can see, and what's, so sad is that so many people, when they've gone through stuff, will turn to alcohol or something to numb, to to to
That's what
to
they
try
do.
to yeah, to take away those things so they can forget some memories and stuff, and I've heard that, and it's so sad because they turn to that as not gonna be a true help, as the and it can gonna cause more trouble for them and for their family to turn to,
And it's
substance abuse.
yeah,
Uh,
and it's a temporary help that they see it as, because what happens,
mhm,
it numbs the pain temporarily.
mhm, mhm.
And what happens is when they wind up with alcohol and substance abuse, a portion of them wind up homeless.
Okay, I've heard of yeah, heard stories of we've been
I'm
learning about some of the homeless situations in different big cities, and we've heard that a lot of them are veterans. Yeah.
Yes, for the past 10 years, I have worked in real estate, helping place the veterans, the homeless veterans, and getting them off the streets and putting them in apartments.
Okay.
And
Wow. Wow.
they have been through alcohol abuse, they have been through substance abuse. And the problem is that if they're in the streets and they stay homeless, then they're going to stay getting that addiction, and they
Mhm,
don't
mhm,
feel safe, they don't feel secure,
mhm, mhm,
and we've got to get them off the streets and into an apartment or a home so that they can start the healing process. And the only way that starts is by getting them off the streets.
mhm. Yeah, to get that help that they need and to be able to help when a person gets down, so low, they need help. Just someone's to help them to get up and then get off of those addictions, to get off of that, to start making a difference.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's very rewarding
Wow.
for me to help one of my own, because we're like a family. Once you go into the military, you serve with people, they become like family to you, and you can't leave one behind. So
Yeah.
there are so many agencies and organizations now trying to stop the suicide.
Mm.
We still need more. It's like
Mhm.
everyone's out here,
Mhm.
trying to help, but I think that the one that who can really help is the man upstairs. He's the one that has the power
Yeah.
to get it to stop.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the one that could do it.
Yeah. He's
And
our real only hope and
yeah,
peace in these situations. Yeah.
exactly. Yes, he'll bring peace. He'll bring healing. He'll bring restoration.
Yeah.
Uh, he'll bring purpose. Okay.
Yes.
And
Wow.
he is the author. Now he's the real true author. And
God. Yeah.
he can rewrite our story, and he can rewrite our story over and over and over. We can make mistake after mistake after mistake, but God is the author and he could rewrite our story. So if we feel that we've done too many
Mhm.
mistakes or we've done a big sin, he can forgive us and help us to rewrite it.
Mhm. That's right, and that he is still writing our story, so as long as we're here, we're alive and breathing, he's still got a plan and a purpose, and it's not too late. It's not too
Exactly.
late no matter how it might feel. It can feel that way or you're too far
Exactly.
away from God or, done too much or whatever it might be, but no, it's not too late.
not too late.
as
It's
long
not.
as we're still here. Yeah.
And I wrote down three things. I wrote down three tips um, for someone who feels that they want to write and they want to feel that it's therapeutic to them.
Mhm.
Or maybe they're thinking about writing. Three tips for them. Number one, these are three tips that will help them beat defeat. Okay, three tips to
Okay.
help beat defeat.
All
Um,
right.
the one thing is don't accept failure before even trying.
Okay. Good one. I like that. Or even trying. Yeah,
Some
because we can. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Well, yeah, we can sometimes feel defeated before we even do let something, jump us before we even get going, right?
Because it's fear.
Yeah. Fear.
It's fear. Okay. For example, somebody that is writing a book, let's say they're writing their book, but they're afraid that it may not be good, so they never finish it. You know, the
Okay.
statistics say 80% of people never finish their books.
Yeah.
Only 20% go on to publish them.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
80% of people are always, oh, I'm writing a book. Oh, I'm writing a book. Oh, I'm writing this book, but they never finish the book because of the fear. So probably a big portion of the 80% have accepted failure before even trying to get it published.
Yeah. That's something. That's too bad, but that can
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other one is if you don't, if you will lose it if you don't use it. So, and
I like that.
that's a common one. If you don't
Yeah.
use it, you
Yeah.
lose it, right?
Yeah.
That will pertain to your imagination, um,
Mhm.
to your reading skills, your reading capabilities. Um, if we're not using our imagination or creativity, then
Mhm.
we will lose it. So use it or lose it. That's a second tip.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
um, the third tip is that God wants us to multiply and prosper. Okay. So believe in him that he wants you to do something. He wants you to do good. He wants so if
Mhm.
you finish your book and you publish it and you get it into the hands of other people, then
Mhm.
you are doing good. You are multiplying. You are getting your word out there. You will be prosperous in the future. If you're out there helping get the word out of your book, then you will be multiplying
Mhm.
what he's giving you. And he's giving you ideas, he's
Mhm.
giving you
Mhm.
activity. And so you're using
Mhm.
the gifts that he's giving you to do good, to help others.
Mhm.
Um, have
Yeah,
you
for sure.
have you got some books out there, or have you
Yes,
been
I have. Yeah, I've gotten a few books, and I have another one um, that I really want to write, but it's just not coming to me quite like I thought. And I guess I am kind of busy. I've got, I'm a mother of 10 with a lot of little ones yet, and homeschooling and stuff.
busy?
But yeah, this last one that I wanted, it was gonna be a devotional, 30 days to living a life with unquenchable joy, and I was gonna call it Joy Unstoppable. So it's about being able to find joy and live in joy regardless of what we go through in life, because of like that comes from my story of having lost our son in 2017. And so I wrote a book about that too, and then just was like, here are some things we can kind of implement to be able to walk in joy. And it's hard, yeah, where you get discouraged, but little bits a day, that's how I've encouraged people, even if it is 15 to 20 minutes a day, that makes progress. If you can set that aside, you'd be surprised what you can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a little drip of water. If a little drip of water goes on a wall, after a while, the wall starts eroding, and after a
Okay. Yeah.
while, you've got a big problem, a big mess. But like you said, you never know what a little bit will do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just set aside some, just keep working on it. It's not,
just
yeah.
working on it. Yes, exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so, so being in the military, it was rewarding, but also it was a little challenging because there's not the women in the military, they're the minority, right? There's a lot
Oh,
more
okay. Yeah.
than
Yeah.
women in the military. And, you know, uh, you face adversity sometimes. Um, maybe they don't think a woman should have the job. Maybe they
Mm.
don't think that a woman can do the training, things of that nature. So you learn to just let that roll that off of you, and you keep moving forward, taking action to do your job, to do good work. And after a while, the adversity lessens and lessens and
Mhm.
lessens.
Mhm.
Um, but um, I've always been a woman that prays. Even when
Okay.
I was younger, even though I had stepped away, when you're younger, sometimes you kind
Yeah.
of step away and then you come back. But
Yeah.
prayer is so essential. Prayer is so essential to our daily
Mhm.
living, that it gives us strength, it renews us, and God guides us to our next step, what we should do, where we should go. But
Mhm.
we have to be able to be willing to listen to Him, to hear
Mhm.
from. And one of the struggles that I have is slowing down. Right? I find
Mhm.
myself very busy doing
Mhm.
lots of things, um, being in leadership or writing or, taking care of my daughter, taking her to activities, just running around, running around. So, what I'm working on is learning to slow down and, you know, uh, time management.
Mhm.
Without some good time management, then it's gonna, you can be involved in 10 projects and be good at all of them and be a master of none,
Mm.
right? Because if you're doing too many
Mhm.
projects at one time, you're not really going to excel on one because you're only giving a little time to this one, you're giving a little
Mhm.
so uh that's
That's right.
one of the struggles that I've been dealing with.
Yeah. You can only spread yourself so thin. only There's
Exactly.
only so much time in a day. And there is only one of you. So be
Exactly.
careful. So you have to have priorities and what is most important to you and for your daughter and your family, and then go from there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing that I wanted to let your audience know, if they're thinking about writing, they can consider an ebook, which is a
Oh, okay. I've heard that's a good
yeah,
option.
it's a virtual book, and they can reach globally because
Mm.
they do a virtual book signing, right? They
Mhm.
send the book through email. Um, they don't have to leave the comfort of their home. They could reach people from all the countries. So
Mhm.
it's they could do radio, they could do Zoom and email. So that is helpful for someone who has limited time and limited resources, that they can just do an ebook and do virtual meetings as much
Mhm.
as they can, get it in there. I
Mhm.
do also have an ebook of my book. So I have the hard copy, but I don't have an ebook of the first book. I have an ebook of the second book.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. I think so because there's quite an audience that just reads them on their is that called Kindle? On their devices instead of just getting, like,
Yes,
on the
ye-
paper book.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it makes it handier for you as a writer and handy for the people that the audience how people read nowadays.
Yeah, it's so it's ever changing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still old school. I like my books. I can
There's nothing like having a book in your hand.
yeah, yeah. That's what I like. But
Yeah, it's the younger generation that they love to read their books on their phones.
yeah, yeah. And my son did I have a son that does it now. So that's kinda new for him because growing up, we had the other books, and then we have a bunch of of his that he collected with some really neat classics. I'm actually sitting in our library, this our books are the opposite direction, but a great section of the books that he accumulated, I really like. But now he just reads them on his thing and he's holding the screen saying, "Oh, I'm reading a book right now." I'm like, "What? That's not that's cheating." Or not the same,
I
but yeah.
think the same.
Yeah.
I tell my daughter, get off your phone. I asked you to read. She says, I am reading. This is a book. I'm reading it on my phone.
Uh, okay, so you didn't know. You're like, "Well," yeah, I was thinking she's on Facebook or something, right?
No,
Yeah.
but how can they read in the phone so small, right? Those
Yeah, it
words.
can't be good on the eyes. It's not good on the eyes, I'm sure.
Exactly. I don't know how she could do it. I have to have my book.
Yeah, 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 me too. But,
And then I get my
uh,
glass.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've really just enjoyed everything that you've shared on here, and for to help other people that has been, in the army as for veterans, and just all of that, how important that is, and that God, you know, cares so much for them. We've got an enemy. Yeah, what's it,
And
John 10:10,
it's
that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but God has come to give us life, a life abundant. It's really unfortunate how our enemy is working and, trying
absolutely.
to seek to devour. Yeah, yeah.
That's what he's here for. He likes suicide. The enemy loves suicide. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
so
that's sad.
we
Really
have to
sad.
be firm and not allow him to tempt us.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and we have to tell the enemy to stand down.
Mhm.
Okay? We stand over him.
Yeah. Yeah, that he has no power over us. Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
has no power over us. He only intimidates and lies because
Uh-huh.
he's an author too, but he's an author of lies.
Exactly. That's what it says. He's the author of life. Yeah, where
Exactly.
God is just opposite. He is truth, and in him is no lie. He cannot lie. He
Can,
cannot lie.
cannot lie.
Yeah, and
He,
he is the Prince of Peace. So that is how we find peace. And I love in the Bible how it describes that peace that God gives us is perfect peace in Isaiah 26:3, and then in Philippians chapter 4 it describes it as a peace that transcends human understanding. That you can't even describe it.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
he has written the best book that's ever been written.
yeah,
And nobody could can outright him.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yes. I'm hoping that when this book gets into the hands on different military installations all over, that number 22 will be reduced.
Okay. We hope so. Pray
Yes.
so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And not by anything that
Yeah.
I, but it'll be God doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. 'Cause he will
Yeah.
get
We gotta.
credit.
Yeah.
God will get
Yeah.
all the
Yeah. But we gotta open, our hearts up. We pray that the people would be acceptant and realize that this is so much better what God has than what the world can offer. That the world is just temporary and fleeting, and it's not the true hope, lasting hope that can only be found in Jesus Himself.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Ex-
love in John 16:33, it says that in this world we would have tribulation, but in him we'll have peace. He first said that, in me you'll have peace, in the world you'll have tribulation. Be of good cheer, I've overcome the world. And so I
yeah,
really
and
like,
I mean, we know life is not fair. We know we're going to have trouble. So
yeah, yeah,
when people tell me over and over, "Oh, this is so hard. Oh, doing this is so hard. Oh, life is not fair." But we all know this already.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's like we're surprised, but Jesus told us that. He already told us. It's almost like a promise, like all of his other promises. He's like, in this world you will have tribulation,
Well,
but
yeah,
but we have
why
peace.
are you telling us what we already know? We know it's not fair.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it kills me. It kills me that they tell me this.
Mhm. But we know that this world is not all there is, that we're only passing through. This is temporary, and so there is a place where there is no trouble, where
Exactly. Yes.
where um where the enemy is not, and where peace reigns.
Exactly.
Where peace
Amen.
reigns.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what we look forward to. That's the hope that keeps us going through our pains and our trouble and when we go through loss and grief and all of this. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
it gives us the hope to keep on. And not want the easy way out, like suicide and all of that, yeah.
Yes.
It may
And
seem the easy way out, I don't believe it is, but, I mean, that's the
that's
that's what
That's what some
made it
people, yes, there's a lot of discussion about that. You know, some say it's the easy way out. Some say there is no easy way out. Some say that it's hard to do what's happening. You know, there's no one knows their situation. No one, only God knows their situation.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And
well,
you know, God has always been in my life. And you know, the littlest things, sometimes you don't even know that he's there. uh I went through another situation that my mom was hospice from home, right? She had dementia, she had Alzheimer's, and I moved her in with me for the last 6 months of her
mhm,
life. And you know, seeing your mom slowly dying, um took a toll, you know, on the family. But I knew I was doing the right thing, helping her, right? Be having her die peacefully at my house,
mhm. Oh,
making
yeah,
sure that she was comfortable.
yeah.
And my neighbor, who's a pastor, kept calling me and saying, "Look, I got to go over to your house because I've got to pray." I says, "Okay." So she'd pass a call and, "Oh, listen, I really got to get over there. I really got to get over there." And I'd say, "Okay." So finally she says, "Listen, I've got to get there today. I have to be there today." So I says,
Yeah.
"Okay, come on over." So she came over and she prayed over my mom. And she prayed that God will, you know, bless
Oh,
that. Yeah, we got cut off here. Uh,
yeah, that's not a problem. Okay.
that he would bless her soul if it's her time, take her when it's her time, things of that nature. And can you believe? Oh, okay, I don't know. Something just flashed on the screen. Um, do you know that after she prayed for my mom, we thanked her and everything. At that point, my mom was, you know, my mom wasn't able to speak. My mom wasn't eating. My mom wasn't drinking. So it's just really her final days.
Mhm,
And the pastor left. And when I woke up that morning, my mom had passed away.
mm,
And it was like God has sent the pastor because he knew that my mom
mhm,
went to pass that day.
mhm. Oh,
And
wow.
put it in the pastor's mind, you got to get over to that lady's house.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that week, you know, but she didn't know exactly why,
yeah.
right? She just knew that she had that feeling that, you know,
Mhm,
God wants me to go over there. And and then when she insisted that one day, she says, "No, it has to be today." But she told me after my mom had passed away, and I said, "Oh, Pastor, did you know that?" She says, "No, I didn't know that." She says, I knew I had to go pray, but I didn't know why, or I didn't know that that was
mm.
her last day." And to me, that's another sign that God sees us.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what
Yeah,
we're going through, and He will send somebody to
yeah,
help.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yes,
I've heard of a lot of incidences like that. He does. He says that he is the God that sees, the God that hears, the God that knows all these things, and that is beautiful. That's how we can just rest and, yeah, be at peace. Know that he's watching us.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay. Well, do you have any last things that you want to share before we maybe close out? And we will have like your links to books or any other things that you wanted to share, like any resources, things that you do. We'll have that in our description. And yeah, anything else you'd like to share with us, Rebecca?
I just want to thank everybody for, having me on here and listening to the story. Just reminding everyone to stay positive, keep moving forward, and looking up for help.
Hmm. Amen. That's yeah, you got to do that.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much
Well,
for having me
yeah,
on.
well, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you again, and just all the best to what you're doing to help others in this space and these things. And for your daughter, the story of her healing was yeah, nothing short of a miracle, a true miracle. And I enjoyed hearing that. All the best with
So
your
much.
daughter.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Okay. Thanks again. Okay.
you.
Take care.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.